on a beautiful night for football. It's time for Monroe Central football. This is Jeff Stevens along with Matt Singleton, Dale Eddy, and Joe Eddy. We are at Hannibal, Ohio, Flannery Field, and the Seminoles will take on the River Pilots. And welcome, my first opportunity to work with Matt Singleton. And being a veteran of the coaching ranks, Matt, first thing I want to ask is how does a team like the Seminoles, off to a 2-0 start, very impressive in the early going, coming to play a team that's 0-2, as the River Pilots, how do they keep from being overconfident and overlooking a team like this?
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, I think the main thing is, being a county rivalry. That's the main thing. These kids go to Swiss Hills with a lot of these river kids. They get to be good friends with them, but when it comes time to, when they kick off, there's no friends on the field. And I think that's one of the main things, that, like you said, the county rivalry, and the Seminoles just can't really get down tonight. They got to have a good game. I look for a big ground game tonight from Monroe Central, and we'll just see what River has to bounce back with.
The Pilot coach, Mike Flannery, in his first year as the coach here at River, but he is a veteran of the coaching ranks, was head coach for a number of years at Payton City, and has come back to his alma mater. And the field, Flannery Field, named after Mike's dad, Martin, a long-time ultra-successful coach of the Pilots. As it seems as usual, the Seminoles will receive. I'm not sure if they won the toss or if the Pilots did and elected to defer, but the Pilots will kick off. And the Seminoles with Gabe Gordon, Aaron Brown, and Sean Joris Deep kicking off for the Pilots, number 21, Randy Smith. And we are underway. Line drive kick. Big, nice bounce for Aaron Brown, about the 15. Up the middle, breaks loose across the 40, about the 43-yard line. Kellen Kitch.
Good return. You can't ask for better field advantage than that right there on the opening kickoff of the game.
And special teams played a big role last week. A nice punt return by Josh Ishii to help set up the first touchdown, and then a blocked punt. And the special teams play and his returns really do a nice job. Say 44-yard line for your first offensive play.
I'll tell you what, I like to see Monroe Central's offensive line again this week. They did a pretty good job last week, and they're up against a pretty good line this week too.
River has a lot of size along their front. First carry of the game is Gordon. Bounces outside, have about 7 yards. Warrington will make the tackle across midfield to 49, give Gordon 7 yards on first down.
That looks like just the old power right there, Jeff. The bread and butter, what they used to call it years ago.
Now I still know that Gabe's going to break out one of these games on one of those long runs, because once he breaks the line of scrimmage, he's not a fullback anymore. He turns into a sprinter.
Well, I'm telling you, Gabe, he's due, that's for sure.
Second down and 3, same formation. Little counter action to Gordon. Finds the going tough on the far side. Number 51, Willis, makes the tackle. As I mentioned earlier there, Matt, River, even though they're rather young across the offensive line, or I should say inexperienced, they have some real good size up front.
Oh, sure they do. I think Rivers, one thing that they're going to have to rely on tonight is their linebackers coming up and making a lot of plays, and their defensive secondary, as you just saw right there.
Third down and 3. Again, the ball at River, 49-yard line.
Then a wishbone formation.
Fake and Ishii on the keep. Gets the outside. Very near the first down.
That's off the foot. They might have to measure on this one.
Nate Eggleston, one of those big linemen at 225 pounds, makes the play. Looks like they'll say it is fourth down. Decision by Coach Acosta. I think the decision has been made on the 46-yard line. He's going to roll the dice here early. Bring Stephen Habing in as that extra blocking back. Probably a power eye set.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Seminoles will go for it.
I think that's a good call, because this right here could set the momentum for the rest of the game.
But if you can't make a half a yard, then you have to question yourself.
That's true.
Gordon.
He's got a first down and more.
It's still churning their feet.
I'll tell you what, that's one thing about Gabe. We, kind of impressed that on there last year. Said, once you break that line, you got to keep on chopping those feet, because in order for them to bring you down, they have to take at least one leg away from you. You keep on chopping those feet, it's hard to take at least one from you.
I think you make a good point, too. You'd hate to go 3 and out on your first possession and give River a little confidence. Nothing better than going down and scoring on that initial possession. But it is first down, ball now at the 38-yard line in River territory. Aaron Brown's first carry.
Over the left side, tackled by 57, Gary Potts.
I'll tell you, I think Aaron Brown, like I said last week, I think he came in ready to play this year. He's been running the ball good. He's been doing a heck of a job blocking, too. He might not be that big, but I'll tell you what, he's playing like he's 190 pounds.
I think one thing I noticed in looking at some stats here this week is the 3 backs for the Seminoles, Ishii, Gordon, and Brown. One of them has 24 carries, one of them has 25, and the other has 26, and they're all 3 within 10 yards. So that is a pretty good triple threat back in the backfield.
Exactly, yeah. You can rely. We have 2 or 3 people you can rely on. That really opens it up for the offense.
Gordon finds the going tough in the middle of that line.
Down to the 34-yard line.
One of the big linemen in there is number 76, Wesley Haslam, at 290. Gordon will get about a yard.
River's got a new look this year as far as our helmets, too. Looks like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And they wish they could play defense half as well as Tampa Bay at times. But, a little bit of a new look by the new coaching staff.
Yeah.
Ishii wants to keep it. He'll slip down. Number 66, Brock Lee, will make that tackle. Ishii will lose 4 yards. And that Tampa Bay lookalike defense doing a nice job there and will force what it was probably going to be a punt. Now the ball at the 39-yard line of 4th and 11. David Spielman will be in, and he'll punt the ball away and try to aim probably for the sideline and pin the Pilots back against their own goal line. A good snap. Spielman's kick over to the left sideline will hit and bounce and will go into the end zone over near the pylon.
That was close. That was a nice kick.
Right idea by Spielman, but just when that ball hits the ground, you just don't know for sure what direction it's going to go.
I tell you, David puts his mind to it. He can get off some good kicks.
And he did a nice job last week, and he caught some people by surprise. But Gabe Gordon's had a little bit of a sore leg and a little bit there on his knee, and they just felt like they had someone else that could kick the ball, and there'd be a chance to get him off the field, or at least not have him kicked, for that play.
Exactly.
The quarterback is Bart Boner, number 9. He's a junior. He's in the shotgun. You'll see a lot of formations out of the Pilots. He'll give to number 20, Warrington. Warrington across the 30. 13-yard pickup.
I think Monroe Central linebacker on this side, he got stuck up inside, and that just opens up a natural hole right there.
Well, first play of the game, we now have a timeout called by the defense, and Monroe Central's going to talk about some things. And I think with the offensive bogging down on a possession, and now the defense giving up a big play, and Coach Sacosta is now to the huddle, and not defensive coordinator Coach Sherman. And this isn't necessarily a strategy session, Matt.
No, I think this is just basically you go out there and tell the kids to settle down a little bit and do what you do best, and just go out there and play hard-nosed football. It's a big, like I said, counter rivalry like this. The kids get up and you forget about what you basically have to do. And I think just going back down to basics and just going out there and taking possession.
The running back of River, number 20, Ronnie Warrington. He's a veteran. He's a senior. Has over 200 yards rushing in their first 2 games, so he's a quality running back. Another player that we're not sure of his availability tonight, looking out in the field to see if he's there, is number 7, Ryan Whitlash. He has an injury from last week, and he was not sure whether he was going to play this game or not. Boner's now under center on 1st and 10. He'll give to Warrington again. He'll bounce the outside, dance around, and have another first down. I tell you, Matt, if he was stayed to the outside, he may have had more running room.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, I just noticed they got in the backfield, they got a lineman that was out there that's leading the way for the blocking. So I'm sure they've watched films and they saw something. They figured, well, let's put a little bit bigger guy in the backfield as far as, to lead the blocking way. But I'm pretty sure it's number 75 that was winged out there.
This time River will go with 4 wide receivers with 1 running back. McGuire is the man in motion. They'll give to Warrington again, and Warrington will be hit in the backfield by Dimmerling.
I'll tell you what, Dimmerling just barely shoestring tackle on him, but well, it worked. So that's but he's getting in there. That's one good thing about Robbie. He's a good kid, and he's a hard-nosed kid, and he wants to play. So I think you'll see a lot out of him this year.
Nose guard Eddie McConnell goes to the sideline in favor of Ryan Ferguson, an extra defensive back, thinking the Pilots will go to the air on 2nd down and 11. Again, motion. Boner will throw, looking to set up the middle screen. They'll get it to Kish, and he'll be wrapped up by Robbie Dimmerling, who read that play extremely well. Number 15, Kellen Kish, makes the reception, and that play will lose about 5 yards.
I'll tell you what, Robbie did a heck of a job on that play. Read it, right from the snap, and that's what he's supposed to do. So,
well, I feel like the Pilots probably telegraphed that screen play a little bit quick, because if I can read it that quickly, I'm sure some of those defensive linemen can see it even quicker. And a good job by Dimmerling in the 4-man front. Here's the defensive end on the near side, number 70. 3rd and 15. Boner to throw the far side, has a man, the ball's overthrown out of bounds. Dusty Miller, and he, on a little sideline and go pattern, he had a step, but the ball thrown well out of bounds. So after a couple big gains, Seminole defense now holds and will force a punt.
You got Ishii and Brown back deep.
Sometimes we'd like to tell you the opponent and who the players are, but looking at this River program, the names are by seniors, juniors, sophomores, and are not in numerical order. So it's a little hard to see. High kick near the sideline. Ishii will let it hit, and now we'll pick it up near the 20. He'll get a big block and then have nowhere to go. Sam Miller throwing a block to help him out a little bit, but I'm not sure that Josh wanted to pick that ball up. It bounced right up into his hands, and he had to make the play.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have much of a choice on that play. But that was a nice hit by Sam Miller.
So Monroe Central in their 2nd possession will be at their own 23-yard line. They're 1 first down on the first possession before things slowed. Again, that power look in the backfield with a power wing. Ishii's first pass of the game. He's going deep. The ball may have been tipped, and it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Kenny Robinson was going deep, but the ball deflected and up in the air, and nobody saw it. And Robinson tried to adjust himself to get back to the ball, but really did not have a chance to do so.
Well, I think if he wouldn't have slipped, he might have had a chance to catch that ball. But yeah, like you said, it was tipped to the line of scrimmage.
You could hear people in the near sideline, which is the River sideline, yelling, if the ball was in the air, but I'm sure that defensive back was not able to see that.
Oh, yeah, you're keeping your eye on the receiver most of the time, and sometimes it is hard to know where that ball is.
2nd down, 10. Gordon, the fullback, tries to bounce the outside and does. And here it is, Nat, what we were talking about.
I'll tell you
Gordon fumbles the ball out of bounds.
Out of bounds. That's one thing about Gabe. I mean, he's the hard runner up the middle, but he gets around the end, he's got some pretty good speed. And 9 times out of 10, he'll beat you.
But a 20-yard pickup, the ball going out of bounds, so Monroe Central maintains possession. But a 20-yard pickup by Gordon in the first down to kind of get the Seminoles out of the hole. And that's very similar to what we just talked about earlier. Once he gets outside, good speed, and defensive back on that side, McGuire, pretty quick also, and able to force him out of bounds, or at least knock the ball away.
I'll tell you, Monroe Central, they do have some pretty good speed in the backfield this year. Ishii in the shotgun formation, give to Gordon.
But not much running room for Gabe Gordon. He'll lose yardage. Haslam and Eggleston, among others, on the play.
Well, I'll tell you what, that offensive line from Monroe Central, they seemed like they were having a hard time. Yeah, usually Monroe Central's good for running up the middle or in between tackles, but they're having pretty rough time here tonight.
I know in conversation this week, Coach Acosta was very concerned about the size of the down linemen of the Pilots, and I think in the early going we've seen that the blocking has been more difficult this week because River's much bigger than Buckeye Trail or Shadyside.
Yeah, I tell you, there's always things you can work. You know, if the guy's bigger, you know, if you have to cut him or whatever you have to do.
Ishii back, screen pass to Gordon, far sideline. Not much help. He'll step away from the man, still on his feet across midfield.
It was a good run. Good run by Gabe.
Pick up about 9 yards.
I'll tell you what, the thing about it is, after that catch, Gabe did most of the work by himself. It seemed like he didn't have too many blockers out there in front of him.
Little sidestep to the inside against the man over there. Third down, and we'll call it 3. Ball right at the 50-yard line. I know, Matt, 2 passes in 1 quarter. What's wrong here? The Seminoles air attack.
Well, you got to do what you got to do to get some points on the board.
A big play now on 3rd down.
Power I
3.
formation.
Ishii, straight keep. Gets a good block to the outside. Another good
Nice
block
by Aaron Brown.
Aaron Brown, beautiful block on the outside. First down.
I tell you what, like I said before, Aaron Brown, he's not the biggest guy on the team, but boy, I tell you what, he'll hit you like he is.
39-yard line.
And then across the 40, that's going to be an 11-yard pickup. A couple big conversions here for the Seminoles to keep drives going. Ball at the 39-yard line in River territory. That was a keeper all the way. A lot of people out in front, and the guys out there did a good job. And they put a helmet on the red jersey and knocked some people back.
Yeah, well, that's to make that play right there work, you need that block on the outside.
3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We are scoreless. Toss left side. Brown trying to get outside. We're going to get a flag. Gordon will be Brown will be brought down on the sideline, and I think they're going to get a holding call.
That's usually what it is on in that vicinity of the play.
The first penalty of the game. This will be stepped off from the point of the foul. So this will move Monroe Central back. The point of the foul is a couple yards downfield. So we'll give Brownie 2 yards on the carry, but then a step off. They'll put the ball back at the 47-yard line.
47-yard line. First and 18.
And it will be first down over, as you may have heard the PA man announce there. First and call it 18. Trips to the right. Ishii will sprint to the right. He's going long. Going for Robinson. He'll make the catch.
I'll tell you what, he did a heck of a job of fighting off that defender and making that catch.
The ball was a wobbler in the air, but Kenny Robinson doing a nice job coming back and making the play. They'll mark him down at the, looks like the 13-yard line.
First down, Seminole.
33 yards.
You can't say enough about Kenny. He's the last couple of years, he's really come around, and this is senior year. I think he's really wanting to make a mark on the league here.
First down, the ball at the 13-yard line. Aaron Brown in motion. Gordon up the middle. And he punishes people as he crosses the 5-yard line. Very near another first down. I think he's going to be about a yard short. They'll put him down about the 4-yard line. Gabe Gordon already over 40 yards rushing. Second down and a yard. 2:35 remaining in a scoreless first period. With the Seminoles on their second possession, knocking at the door on what's been a very nice drive that started back at their own 23-yard line. Gordon tries to bounce the outside. He's been short of the goal line, but I believe he may have a first down. They stop the clock. The head of referee tonight out of the OVAC is Jerry Ames, and he says it is a first down. Just inside the 3.
We've got plenty of room to work with now. First down and goal.
Definitely four downs to pound it in if you need those.
Well, hopefully we won't need 4 downs, but
one would be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
First and goal at the 3. Here's the 2-minute mark. Time remaining in period number 1.
Monroe Central in the power I formation. Give
this
to Brown.
Brown, the ball carrier.
Still on his feet, but buried. Not much of a hole there.
By Toby Willis and Jerry Potts.
Jerry Potts and Willis on the tackle. There's several red shirts in there. They'll give Aaron Brown momentum.
Second down 3.
That says forward progress right to the 3-yard line. Ball right in the middle of the field now. Now you cut things down. You can go either right or left now on second down.
I would be surprised to see if you keep it here, but there's Gordon up the middle.
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
And it really looked like Gordon didn't gain much yardage, but I think, Matt, that's a surge by your offensive line on that play that backed River up, and Gordon able to get the 3 yards he needed for the first score of the game.
Exactly, especially against those big hosses that River has. Push them back 2 or 3 yards. That's that's saying something right there. You got Curtis Merritt to try for the extra point.
Curtis last week 4 for 4 as far as the ones he was able to get a foot on. The one that they did not convert was a bad snap, and we're going to get a Monroe Central timeout. 1:21 remaining in the quarter. PAT coming up. That's the first week, that point after touchdown was a little shaky at times and missed a kick and then tried for 2 and was unsuccessful. It was sure nice last week to see Curtis Merrick hit the ball very squarely, and except for the one that he ricocheted in, but they all count the same. But to hit all 4 of the ones that he had the opportunity to kick.
Exactly. I tell you what, Curtis, he had kicking for us last year in the JV games, and I kept on telling Coach Costa, I said, I tell you what, he's got the leg. I said, we just work with him a little bit, and apparently they've worked with him. Coach Shoemaker being the special teams coach, I'm sure he's worked with him, and he's come along pretty good so far.
If memory serves me correctly, maybe a field goal in a JV game last year?
Yeah, yes. And a field goal, matter of fact, his freshman year even kicked a field goal.
So the extra point attempt by Merrick, issues hold, snaps good. That one sure looked pretty. Ain't his.
Well, I tell you what, he had plenty of distance on that one.
One negative is that is Monroe Central's second time out of the first quarter, but if you have to call him, you call him. We're at 1:21 remaining in the first period. Monroe Central now on the board in their second possession, 7-0. Before we get any farther along, Matt, I got a couple things here I'd like to announce. One, a lot of times we don't mention the JV teams. In the past, you've been close to that. Central JVs are 2-0. They will play River on Monday out in Monroe Memorial Park, and the schedule says 6 o'clock. So you may check on that, but it does say 6 o'clock on the schedule. Also, you get a chance, check out the volleyball team. They're off to a 5-0 start, playing on Saturday morning as we speak against Bellsville out the Skyview Elementary Gymnasium. And 5-0 starts for the Lady Knowles in volleyball, and Troy Baker is the coach of that squad, and they've done an excellent job in the early going.
I'll tell you, Troy's doing a good job with the volleyball team, and what you people need to understand is going out to these JV games, or going out to the volleyball games. The JV kids, they're going to be your varsity kids next year, and you got to get out and support these kids in high school. They need all the support they can get.
Exactly right. I'll tell you, a JV game normally a little shorter than a varsity game, usually about an hour and a half. So if they get started by 6 o'clock, you can be home by 7:30. But support these younger kids. Short kickoff.
By Kobe Starr.
Starr will be hit hard and wrestled to the ground. I think it's Dimmerling. A high tackle, but a legal tackle. Robbie Dimmerling. Some of the River faithful didn't like that high tackle, but
he didn't have really much of a chance to make a solid tackle on him. I think he was just reaching. He grabbed a hold of his shoulder pads, and any way you can bring him down as long as it's legal.
Now the Pilots, who broke off a couple of long gains by Warrington, first time. We're going to get a flag here prior to the snap. The umpire behind the defensive line looking across at the Pilot offensive front, and he tells the referee that is illegal procedure against the Pilots. I believe Rivers' first penalty of the game.
It'll cost them 5 yards.
I tell you, I really wasn't watching. I really didn't even catch that legal procedure.
You almost think that might be an offensive lineman that came out and put his hand down, remembered that he shouldn't yet, and then straightened back up,
yeah.
And that is a penalty.
That's true.
But you're not able to tell, but the umpire stepped right in there and made that call at 5 yards against the Pilots.
I'd like to see what Monroe Central's defense is going to do here after a nice offensive series.
We'll get a flag at the snap.
I think that was Dan Miller. I think he came across a little bit too soon from Monroe Central.
The only thing I'm going to say on there, Matt, if in fact Dan Miller did break the line of scrimmage, and it is a penalty, why the official nearest didn't make the call, it was the official away that threw the flag.
Well, I agree with you too, Jeff. You think it would be the one on that side that would throw the flag, but there's the one over here on our side. I really,
And not that he didn't have a good look at it, but you wonder why the person on the other side didn't throw the flag also. But officiating's easier up here than it is down the field. Boner going deep. This is Kish.
I'll tell you what, Aaron Brown got lucky on that play because he had his man had him beat by at least 3 or 4 steps. So Aaron ought to be saying his prayers on that one.
Aaron Brown listed probably at 5'7" in the program, and Kellen Kish, a first-year basketball player, out for football for the first time, but a basketball star at about 6'3". So looks like Coach Flannery trying to exploit that weakness, or what he sees that might be a weakness of the height differential here in the early goings. They've went deep a couple of times, but Kish has hands on the ball, not able to make the play. Now 2nd and 10. Boner will fake. Look out in the flat. Complete.
Oh, nice hit. I'll tell you what, that was a nice hit by Sean George. He was in the right spot at the right time, and he was where he was supposed to be.
The receiver, Smith, I believe they say, Randy Smith, a sophomore, he's going to pick up yardage out to the 32-yard line. Looks like a 6-yard pickup. 3rd down and 4. Yeah, but as you say, a real nice blow delivered there by Sean Joris on that tackle. Motion again by the Pilots. Shotgun formation. Fake shovel pass inside. And that's an incomplete pass. Pilots did fall on the ball, but that is a forward pass. Incomplete. Pilots will be forced to kick the ball away once again on 4th and 4.
A lot of people don't realize that is not a fumble. It's basically considered a pass because it's thrown forward rather than backward as like a lateral or a pitch.
And really, from the offensive standpoint, a pretty safe pass. Because even if it falls to the ground, like you say, it is an incomplete pass.
Yes.
Ishii and Brown deep. Line drive kick. Nice kick, Ishii at the 32-yard line. Tries to get to the left. Breaks a couple tackles. Still on his feet to midfield. Flag down.
Flag on the play.
Nice return by Ishii. We'll wait and see what the call is.
Hey, that might be on Monroe Central. That might be
Number 10,
might be a clip.
And Dusty Miller assisted on the tackle.
Normally, a flag on a return in that situation is against the offense or the return team. Officials talking about this. A lot of bodies over there.
There was a couple nice blocks in there, though. I tell you, people looking back and peeling back and picking people up.
And I'll tell you one thing, Matt, as a coach, a lot of times, anytime you can get officials together to talk, you get a chance that they may change their mind.
Well,
this isn't the case, as Monroe Central will be penalized for illegal block. Illegal block in the back, 10-yard step off. Monroe Central's 3rd penalty here in period number 1. And that's been a little concern the first 2 weeks. Maybe a few more penalties at times than what you really want to see.
Well, that's one thing that any coach, especially Jay, I know for a fact, frowns on his penalties, even just, the slightest one's offside.
This will be the final play of the first quarter, barring another penalty. Straight ahead, Brown.
Hand off to Brown.
He'll get a good 5 yards near the 44-yard line. But we have reached the end of the first period here at River High School. The score, Monroe Central 7, River nothing. We'll be right back.
End of the first quarter. The score, Monroe Central 7.
No matter what the weather is, you can work out year-round at Transforming Physiques. For your convenience, new owner Kristen Rossiter has extended the hours. Students have the opportunity to work out before school, after school, or on Saturdays. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, come out at 6 a.m. and get your exercise in before going to work. Adult, student, and family memberships are available. They now have 2 tanning beds and stock the best of tanning supplies. Stop out to see a large variety of sports drinks, diet bars, supplements, vitamins, and sports attire. Now is the time to start transforming your physique. FW Shoemaker Insurance Agency celebrating 100 years of service to our community. FW Shoemaker is an independent agency representing many reputable companies for all of your insurance needs. Only the most professional agencies represent Westfield Insurance. The best of the best are recognized as Westfield Platinum agencies, and FW Shoemaker is proud to be a Platinum agency. FW Shoemaker Insurance and the Monroe Central Seminoles, 2 winning traditions.
Ready to start period number 2, 7-0 Seminole lead. Give Aaron Brown 4 yards on that final play of the first quarter, 2nd down and 6. And what would be nice, Matt, is to see the Seminoles put together another nice march and go down and score and get that 2-touchdown lead.
I think that's what they really need right here, Jeff. They need to march down the field and just basically drive it down their throat.
This will be the keeper by Ishii. I'll tell you what, not much room to run in there on those fakes. Pilot's not going for that. I'd say they've scouted things out and know that that is a play that the Seminoles like to run. Ishii, not much room.
I tell you what, that hold close up awful quick.
And running to the short side of the field really didn't give Ishii a chance to use his speed to try to get away. Really, in 4 carries, Ishii's only been able to break loose 1 time thus far. 3rd down and 7 at the 43-yard line. 3 receivers, Ishii in the shotgun. Ishii will roll out. Looking downfield, goes for Joris. And 4th down now. And for the 2nd time in 3 possessions, Monroe Central will have to punt the ball away.
Well, I was kind of really looking forward to them, like I said, marching down the field. But, you got to remember, Monroe Central's offensive line, you only got basically 1 guy back or 2 guys back from last year that started. So, they're kind of inexperienced and they're against a bigger line this week. So maybe it's just going to take maybe a quarter or 2 for them to get their bearings and get everything in order.
David Spielman, kick away. It's not a deep kick, but a high kick. Miller will be hit as he catches the ball. Dan Miller, I believe, yes, Dan Miller on the coverage and brought the return man, Dusty Miller, down immediately.
Like you said, it wasn't a deep kick, but it was a high kick and gave Dan a little bit of time to get down there. And as soon as he caught the ball, he was hit.
That's going to be about 33 yards with no return, and you'll take that in high school football.
Oh, sure you will, especially when you got a good punt team to get down there and cover the ball.
So the Pilots now in the shotgun once again. McGuire, as he's been all night, in motion. Boner looked like he wanted to hand off. Now he's going deep. Here's Whitlash, incomplete. Ryan Whitlash, one of the best 800-meter runners in the Ohio Valley in the springtime, had a couple steps on somebody, and that's a couple balls, Matt, that the Pilots have had people behind the Seminole defensive backs and just not able to make connection.
Well, I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, Jeff, he had a couple steps on about 3 of our defenders down there, One of them being Gabe Gordon, and Gabe's got a lot of speed too. So that Whitlash boy, he's got some speed.
We wasn't sure about Whitlash's availability tonight as he was injured last week, but he's been in for a couple of plays and was in there, and they're going to pick their spots. It looks like
he seems like he's healthy to me.
Boner back under center. We'll go back and give to Warrington.
I'll tell you what, that was one heck of a play by defensive end over here. That would have been Dan Miller. And I'll tell you what, he played it exactly the way defensive end is supposed to be played. You stay at home, and what we always told our defensive ends was you wait till that ball is past the line of scrimmage, just in case there might be a counter, bootleg, or reverse. And he stayed at home, and basically he was right there.
Seminoles will go to their 4-man front and bring the extra defensive back in now in Ferguson. Really, Ferguson lines up as a linebacker.
3rd down and 14.
This is Whitlash, who wants to throw the ball. Now he's going to run and have some running room. A nice pursuit, and it will turn into a very short gain. Sam Miller
from the other side of the field.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt, that was going to be a throwback to the quarterback.
Sure, yes, it was. But our defense read it pretty good, and and here's Sam Miller coming clear across from the other end of the field, coming over to make the tackle, and that's good pursuit.
And I'll tell you what, Boner slid out of that backfield and would have been open if Whitlash would have had an opportunity to throw it.
Yeah.
But punt formation now for the Pilots once again on this 4th and 10. Ball at the 24-yard line. Brown and Ishii. Maynard is the punter. That's a bad snap, or a bad kick off the side of his foot into the stands. And we'll see where they place that ball. We're looking right at it. He needs to move forward a little bit. And they're going to put it down about the 30-yard line. Matt, that's a 6-yard punt.
I tell you what, if I would have been in the stands, I wouldn't give him the ball back. Yeah, that's off the side of his foot. That happens.
And some good pressure up the middle.
Exactly.
May have forced him to rush things a little bit.
That's what happens when you got pressure. You got the punter, hurrying the kick. So let's see what Monroe Central does here on offense.
Well, last week, Matt, Seminole was able to take advantage of the short field, and for the first time tonight, excellent field position out the River 30-yard line. They go to a little unbalanced as Chad Burkhart moved to the right side.
Aaron Brown, about maybe 3 yards.
But I think maybe the first time tonight we've seen the Seminoles go to that unbalanced look as the left tackle, Chad Burkhart, moved over to the right side for that extra blocker.
Well, I tell you what, when you come up against an off or a defensive line, that's the size of that River is. Sometimes you got to go at an unbalanced line just to get a little bit of advantage on a certain size.
Sean Adey, Chris Jeffers, Robbie Demmerling, Curtis Merrick, along with Dan Miller and Sam Miller and Chad Burkhart, that offensive front that has done a great job in the first 2 weeks of the season. Ishii fakes. Now he wants to run and slipping down. I've seen a couple slips out there, Matt, so, it appears to be a little soft.
Well, I tell you, that's about the 3rd or 4th time I've seen Ishii slip. So, he's having a hard time keeping his feet. Could be maybe he's trying to make it, his cuts a little bit too soon or, too sharp. So I'm sure he'll remedy that come second half.
3rd down and 7. The ball at the 27-yard line now in River territory. Again, you've got the extra down. You don't have to get the whole 7 yards here on this 3rd down play. Slot to the left, Robinson wide. Fake. Ishii under pressure, gets the ball off, and really a nice job.
I'll tell you what, Gabe Gordon was wide open. If he could have got that off just a half a second sooner, he might have been looking for 6.
Some good pressure there, and Wesley Haslam, had a hold of Ishii, and really a good job by Ishii getting the ball away and keeping the play from being a loss. They say Eggleston deflected the ball. Eggleston, 6'4".
That's a tall kid, I tell you. Monroe Central will go for it here because I think they can rely on our defense if they don't make it.
This is 4th down. They need to the 20. Snap to Ishii. He wants to. He's going to run the ball. He'll get a yard or two, but he's well short of the 1st down.
River takes over on downs. I tell you, that's a good defensive stance there by River.
Let's give the Pilots some credit. They've come out and have played well. And the scores of their first two games, Matt, may be a little bit deceiving. Even they lost to Frontier and Magnolia by a big score. They were ahead in both of those games in the middle of the second quarter.
Exactly. And Frontier and Magnolia's got two pretty good teams this year, though, too. So you got to take that in consideration.
Both are future opponents of Monroe Central. Boner in the shotgun. Now wants to run the ball. Bart Boner is going to scramble to the 35-yard line, pick up 8 yards, and then I believe Monroe Central is going to be guilty of a late hit.
I'll tell you, that's it was bragging about Dan Miller a little bit ago. I think he took maybe one too many steps across the line of scrimmage, and it just opened up a natural hole.
Overall, though, Matt, I don't think this quarterback Boner is going to beat you with his feet. Even though he looked effective there, but he had a lot of room to run. But overall, I think if he can be forced to run, it's probably to Monroe Central's advantage.
I'll tell you what, he's quick though.
You may recognize the name. I'll get into that in a moment. This is Warrington. He's wrapped up by 80. He'll lose yardage. As I started to say, Bart Boner's dad, some people may have recognized the name, but his dad is Mark Boner, former coach at St. Clairsville and the head coach of the Ohio Valley Greyhounds. He's transferred this year from Shadyside. So he knows a little bit about the game of football.
Oh, well, sure. It kind of runs in the family. His dad was, a heck of a ball player down here at River himself.
I tell you, after the two big gains by Warrington early, he has lost 6 yards in his last 3 carries, so the Seminole defense has done a better job. A late substitution by the Pilots. Boner under center, 2nd and 12.
They have tight splits, so it might be going up the middle.
They give it to Warrington.
I'll tell you what, that's one thing. Hopefully Monroe Central will key on that when River's cutting their splits down and they're basically bunching everybody up the middle. That's basically where it's going, is up the middle.
Sam Miller on the tackle. But 3rd down after the loss, and now the gain of 5, called 3rd and 7. Ball in Monroe Central territory to 47-yard line. Pilots need to the 40. Third down 7. Boner wants to keep it outside and slips to the ground. He'll lose a yard, maybe a couple.
I guess apparently that feels a little bit slipperier than what we realized out there tonight.
The Pilots were away last week, so they didn't have the problems with the wet field last weekend, but they did play at home during week 1, and I'm not sure if they've had JV games or junior high games or anything like that, but the grass does look a little thin. You can see some brown spots in the middle.
But it's not in too bad a shape though, really.
Considering all the rain we've had.
Exactly, yes.
4th down, River punting once again. This one a bit better. Ishii will fair catch at the 20-yard line. About 28 yards.
That was a smart play by Josh to fair catch that ball. But, who knows, it could have taken a bounce and rolled down to maybe the 5-yard line or, even farther.
5:24 remaining in the first half of what has been a very quick first half. Monroe Central leading this game, but only 7-0. I know some people would have thought it would be a lot wider margin by this time, but let's give the River Pilots, especially their defense, a lot of credit, as they have, except on one possession, has stopped Monroe Central for very little yardage.
So far, River's defense has stepped up and they have done a heck of a job, only giving up 7 points.
From the 20-yard line, Ishii wants to look deep. Ball's in the air. Kenny Robinson with a circus catch for completion.
I'll tell you what, right there, I think that's what Coach Acosta has kind of might rely on here, come second half. That was a mismatch there. You got Kenny against number 2, and he's given up at least probably about foot and a half, height advantage.
Kenny Robinson, 6'4". And I tell you, when the defense has put so many people tight to stop the run, that's something you have to do. And really a nice catch by Kenny Robinson on the play. his second catch now for over 60 yards.
And off to Brown.
Aaron Brown straight ahead. He'll get
Tackled
about
by
3 yards.
Sean Oakey.
And Aaron Brown held in check pretty well in this
Gary
game.
Potts. Gain of a couple. Second down. 8.
Seminoles was 76 yards passing in this game. And that's more than they had the first 2 weeks. Or right about the same number.
Well, when you have the backs that we have, you rely on the run all the time. You know, if you don't have to pass the ball, don't.
This is Gordon.
And off to Gordon.
Straight ahead. Somebody had a hold of his ankle there as he tried to get forward. And I'm not sure who.
Sean.
Looks 64, Sean Oakey had a hold of his ankle and
Third down. 4.
unable to make any progress. Oakey at 245, and when he has a hold of your ankle, that'll slow you down. Pick up about 3 yards. Third down now, ball just inside the 40. Gordon once again has the first down, has
And
more.
I'll tell you, that's a nice hard run. That's the way a fullback's supposed to run right there, Jeff. Put your head down and just get as many yards as you can. And you know, like we said before, you know, you keep on pumping those legs and driving those legs like Gabe does, you're going to break some tackles and get a couple extra yards here and there.
That is a first down at the 31-yard line. Clock now running at 3:50 remaining before halftime. Monroe Central has just 1 timeout remaining.
Right now, it's you know, like it is all the time. It's up to Monroe Central's line to see what they're going to do. Got the option.
Is he on the keeper?
Is she keeps?
Positive yardage there inside the 30 near the
3 yards.
the 27-yard line. Right before that play, I'm not sure if you could see in the screen there and from the camera, the defensive line for River bounced down to their right, which was to the Seminole left, and then Ishii went to the right, so maybe a little more running room there. Now, ball on the right hash.
Well, you know, a lot of defensive teams, they'll bounce to the wide side of the field because they think, you know, probably most people do run the wide side of the field.
Second down. Ishii wants to throw again. Stops, going deep for the corner of the end zone. Contact.
Nice
That's a catch.
Nice catch. I'll tell you what, that is a beautiful catch. Beautiful.
I think that is Sam Miller on the reception. Yeah, they said Robinson over the PA, but I'm almost certain that was Sam Miller. And I'll tell you what, I think Lance might have a candidate there for the play of the week by that grab.
I'll tell you what, I didn't know Sam could catch a ball like that. That's a beautiful catch.
Sam's second catch of the year. Both have been touchdowns.
Oh, well. Okay, well then I'll give him credit for it then.
Curtis Merrick's kick is a
Nice
dandy. He may have
kick.
cleared the field house.
Just about.
2:44 remaining in the second quarter. The Seminoles now leading 14-0.
Now what's interesting here, Jeff, is how River's going to bounce back. You know, being down 14 points, are they going to go for the quick touchdown, or are they just going to try to run the ball down the field? They've had pretty good success running the ball so far tonight.
Excellent point. We saw Shadyside last week kind of get conservative right before the end of the half. Another public relations announcement to make there, Matt. 2 weeks from tonight, Monroe Central will return home and play Fort Fry as homecoming. And the homecoming court has been set in elections this past week. The following students have been elected to the homecoming court. They are the freshman attendant, Leah Gordon, sophomore attendant, Casey Marshall, junior attendant, Megan Schwaben. The King candidates will be Clayton Benedict, Aaron Brown, Gabe Gordon, Josh Ishii, Sam Miller. The Queen candidates, Krista Huffman, Ashley Kuhn, Devin McIntyre, Nicole Merrifield, Renee Shreve. The crowning of the Queen will be at halftime of the Fort Fry game in 2 weeks. They'll crown the King on Thursday night at the bonfire.
Merrick to kick off for the Seminoles.
I wasn't sure if he was going to score another touchdown to let me get that announcement in. Nice kick
Nice
by
kick by
Merrick.
Curtis.
This will go in to the end zone.
Like I said before, Jeff, when he wants to kick it and puts his mind to it, he's got the leg for it. You know, it's just he has to be more consistent.
Well, that was a weapon that last year with Michael Joris kicking off resulted in a touchback probably at least a dozen times, if not more, and it's sure a great advantage to your defense to put the opponent at the 20-yard line.
Sure it is. And, you know, if Michael, you know, if we had to take him out for, you know, from kicking, again, let him get some rest, you always had T.J. Stevens that could kick the ball just as deep. You know, so, you know, this year it seems like, you know, we just got Curtis, you know, but like I said, he's got the leg for it, you know, and I think he'll do a good job this year.
That would be the first touchback, I believe, on a kickoff. Boner now across the middle, deflected by off the hands of Kish. The back judge says incomplete. A near catch by number 26, Miller.
Almost intercepted, too.
And not a real good angle from our vantage point here. There's a lot of bodies between us and the ball, but the back judge probably had the best view. He said incomplete, but almost a double deflection into a completion. 2nd and 10. And that may have answered your question, Matt, of whether River would just run out the clock or whether they would try to get down the field.
Well, I think they, you know, to be honest with you, I think they need to get down the field if they want to score before half.
Monroe Central 14-0 lead.
Shotgun formation.
Boner wants to run, and he will run right into Gabe Gordon.
Good job by Gabe. You know, he read it, and he came up and made the tackle. It's a heck of a job.
In what was a passing situation, I think maybe Coach Sherman, even though they're showing a 4-man front, looks to be stunning a linebacker quite a bit to put that extra pressure on. Timeout will now be called by River. 2:11 remaining in the first half. That will be River's first spent timeout. Coach Flannery having the team down in front now and talk. You can see across the way there, Seminoles, a lot nicer night as far as the temperature and the humidity, but still, you know, a lot of kids playing both ways out there, and
it does take a toll on the kids. It really does. You know, it's kind of like to be down on the field and listen to both coaches and see or to hear what each one of them is saying. I'm sure Coach Sherman's over there telling them to beware of the long pass or, you know, kind of a trick play maybe. So he might be playing maybe like a 40 defense and playing it kind of loose.
And the clock can be a factor in that decision. Just looking around over on the far side, I can see Coach Briggs is taking residence over in the top row of the bleachers on the far side. As Matt and I, and along with Dale and Joe, are atop the scaffolding over beside the press box. If you attended the game on Friday nights, there you may have been able to see us up there and wondered how we got up here. And I'm not real sure, Matt.
I should have taken mountain climbing lessons before I came up to this thing.
As Dale and Joe probably can say, I believe this is the 4th time, Dale, that we have done a game down here at River. We've never been in the press box. But really a good vantage point here. Once we get up here, it wasn't bad.
Well, like they always said, there's no use to complaining. Nobody listens to you anyway. So,
hey, it could have been last week. Boner under pressure.
Oh, that was a nice
wrestled
play.
to the ground. The ball may have been loose. The officials say down. That's Gordon, I believe, on the sack. Clear back near the 5-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that was a good defensive call by Coach Sherman.
Now they're going to place him now, Matt, up near the 9.
You know, sometimes, you know, situations like that, you got to take a gamble, and Coach Sherman did, and it worked out. That was a nice call.
But they will put Boner down at the 9. Say he was down prior to being fumbling the ball back near the 5. 4th down now and long is about 21 yards for a first down. Punter in his end zone. Maynard is the punter, standing about 2 yards deep. Ishii about the 40-yard line. Brown at about the 45. Timeout, River. 1:15 left on the clock.
Apparently, Coach Flannery saw something that he didn't like.
Well, the first thing I looked and counted to see if they had the right amount of people in the field, and they do have 11. So I'm not sure if he was concerned about a delay penalty or was not comfortable with the lineup and was afraid that the Seminoles may have been coming for a block, knowing that Curtis Merrick did block a kick last week.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I probably watched films from last week's game, thinking, you know, Monroe Central was wanting another score before half, and they might be coming for the ball. So I'm sure he's making preparations for that.
The Pilots now going to kick out of their own end zone. Remember, Monroe Central still has a timeout remaining. They're going to take over this football in what should be very good field position. About the 40-yard line with about a minute left and a timeout. You know, I would say that if that's the case, the Seminoles will take a shot at the end zone once again.
Well, I'm sure Jay has in the back of his mind what he wants to call when it comes to offense.
10 men up, Matt. This could be the block.
This could be the block, exactly.
Ishii at his own at the 35 alone. Here come the Seminoles. They get it away, and there's going to be a roughing call. Ishii, and there's a clip. That will be called. And that clip will probably prevent River from getting a first down. But there was definitely roughing the kicker on Monroe Central, and it was quite obviously a clip on Monroe Central.
So roughing the kicker, you know, we'd always told the kids.
So that could be that's probably 2 penalties against Monroe Central.
Sure it is. We always told the kids when you're going to go in and block the punt, you never go in directly, you know, towards the kicker. You always try to go across his body. And that time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been the Curtis Merrick, basically went just straight up the middle, went right for the kicker.
Now, if that is an automatic first down, and I'm not sure, I keep getting mixed up on that, River will decline the clip, roughing the kicker, and I believe that is, yes, automatic first down. And that's the negative of going for the block.
And like I said, I'd look for River to be throwing the ball downfield here.
Ball will be spotted at the 24-yard line.
I thought the clip call might change the sequence of events there, but what happened, since that's an automatic first down, River will decline the clipping call on Monroe Central, take the roughing the kicker call, which brings the ball out to the 15 yards to the 24-yard line, and is an automatic first down. Under a minute, clock running. Pilots still not on the field yet, as they now, with their last 5 players of their offense coming on the field, but there's been a good 15 seconds run off.
I'll tell you what, that right there, that could kill a series right there, or kill a quick score.
The Pilots in no hurry. Boner gives to Warrington. Short gain of maybe 3 yards.
I'm not sure. Does River have any timeouts left, Jeff?
I believe they have one.
One? Okay.
Back on the play by Gordon.
No huddle. Pilots now back up to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers.
I'll look for them to be
left.
taking a timeout after this play.
Boner will be sacked
by Dan Miller. Good defensive play by Dan Miller. They're going to let the clock run out.
And that will be a loss back to the 20-yard line. The second Seminole sack. And we have reached halftime. Score, Monroe Central 14, River nothing. We'll be right back with halftime.
New name, same great service. Ormet Credit Union is now Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. Visit us in our new facility in Hannibal, built with more convenient parking and easier drive-through. If you live, work, or attend school in Belmont or Monroe counties, you are eligible for membership in the Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. To serve you better, we also have locations in St. Clairsville and Clarington. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. Community is our middle name. For over 100 years, Bauer Turner Furniture has been serving our community with quality furniture and bedding. After a big day, kick back and relax in a dual recliner sofa, or choose from living room suites featuring couches with comfy armchairs or matching recliners. Then pick the perfect coffee table and tables and lamp to suit your personality. Of course, they stock bedroom furniture to please the country, traditional, or contemporary decorator. Kitchen tables and chairs, hutches, entertainment centers, and more can be delivered to your home this week. So stop by Bauer Turner Furniture today. For your convenience and peace of mind, AmeriDrive by Stark offers teen driver education in these locations: Woodsfield, St. Clairsville, Wintersville, Martins Ferry, New Philadelphia, Marietta, Harrison Central, and Buckeye Local. 3 weeks of classroom study is held on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings. State licensed and certified by the Ohio Department of Public Safety, AmeriDrive has been teaching teens and adults to drive for 20 years. 8 hours of one-on-one behind-the-wheel instruction is scheduled at convenient times. Call AmeriDrive by Stark at 1-800-YOU-DRIVE-2. McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell strongly believe in supporting our kids, both in school and in extracurricular activities. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. They're happy to support our players, our cheerleaders, and our band. After the game, celebrate at McDonald's of Woodsfield, where we love to make you smile.
This halftime show brought to you by McDonald's of Woodsfield.
Central Seminole Band.
McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell strongly believe in supporting our kids, both in school and in extracurricular activities. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. They're happy to support our players, our cheerleaders, and our band. After the game, celebrate at McDonald's of Woodsfield, where we love to make you smile. From a deck to a complete house, Woodsfield True Value has the lumber and building materials for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. Before you go out of town, bring your plans into Troy and Mike for a free estimate. We think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Delivery is available for your project materials too. From lumber and siding to shingles, windows, insulation, and cabinets, Woodsfield True Value is your source for building materials and building packages. So give Troy or Mike a call today at Woodsfield True Value. Since 1887, folks have trusted Woodsfield Savings Bank with their financial needs. So when you need someone to lead you with your financial decisions, come to the friendly folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank where customers count. Because of your busy schedule, we offer a drive-through and night deposit box, as well as convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. The folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank truly believe that making an investment in our kids brings the biggest return to our community.
I'm not buying till I check on Ford.
When it comes to the regular maintenance of your Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury, come to the service department at Doane Ford. From oil changes and brake work to alignments and major repairs, the service department at Doane's has state-of-the-art equipment and factory-trained technicians to keep you on the road. And for all types of body work, remember, Doane Ford's Collision Center is a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies.
I'm not buying till I check on Ford.
To start the third period, River will receive. A quick look at the halftime stats shows that Monroe Central very close to 200 yards of total offense, including better than 100 yards passing. The Pilots only in the neighborhood of 20 yards total offense in the first half. And another great job by the Seminole defense, Matt.
Well,
some good things in the offense.
Yeah, they had a little shaky start there at the beginning. It looks like River's going to move the ball, but then Monroe Central defense stiffened up like they normally do, and it just goes to show you that how what good of a job that Coach Sherman's doing out there with that defensive squad.
Well, you're exactly right when you talk about the first couple of plays. 26 yards in 2 plays to start the game by River, so negative yardage since. Curtis Merrick's last kickoff into the end zone. This is another dandy, and this is going to be Warrington at the 4. Oh, some running room. David Spielman and Sam Miller makes the play.
I'll tell you what, that was Dudek, number 49, that got there through the line. I thought he was going to make a big stick, but we always teach these kids when on the kickoff team, you can't over pursue. You got to go down there under control and break down. And he went out there under control, and I was hoping he'd make a good stick, but he just a little bit too overpowering.
Here's that tight formation again that you talked about in the first half, Matt. Straight ahead. Warrington, good yardage, out near the 37 or 38 yard line.
I'll tell you what, that's Jeff, that's just right up the gut there. And Rivers' offensive line kind of moving Monroe Central's defensive line back a little bit right there.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments are made. A lot of yardage difference in the game for the score being just 14-0 Monroe Central.
Well, I tell you, even though Monroe Central is up 14-0, I'm sure they made a lot of adjustments themselves.
A lot of movement along the line. Looked like it may have been some movement by the Offense first, but we'll let the officials sort this out. Here's a false start, illegal procedure on the Pilots.
Looks like their left guard might have taken a step back.
And the fans here on the Riverside don't like that. You know, they probably didn't see the movement. What they saw is Monroe Central stepping across and knocking offensive linemen down. But, you know, that was triggered because of the offensive line movement, as you say, on that left side. So the 5 yards that Warrington gained is now given back by penalty, 2nd and 10.
River still got the tight splits.
And off to Warrington.
But he'll get those 5 yards back. So Ronnie Warrington's gained the same 5 yards twice here in the in this opening quarter. This time maybe closer to 4.
6, ball at the 36-yard line.
You know, Warrington has been the only ball carrier from scrimmage on running plays by the Pilots. I think maybe one time the quarterback ran on his own. Everything else was a scramble. And one time Whitlash was in and ran, but have not seen much out of Ryan Whitlash in this game.
Well, like you said, he was injured last week, and they might be trying to give him a break out there tonight.
3rd down and 6. Boner now trying to get outside to throw. Out in the flat. It's complete.
Randy Smith. Tackle on the play by Sam Miller. 1st down Pilots.
We've got a River player hurt here.
Officials timeout on the field.
Now he's getting back up.
Smith, who fell victim to a high tackle. Pickup of about 8 or 9 yards on the play. River 1st down.
5-yard line.
They're making him come out for a play.
After the officials stop play, now I think they're going to have to go back to the huddle. Clock now running, a little confusion by the Pilots, but you're right, Matt. I think he was forced out by the officials because they did stop the clock, the checking. And that's a safety rule, but the Pilots back to the line. Good shape here now, 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Warrington, a little bit of running room.
Tackled by number 20, John Shores.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think River, they went in there at halftime, and
Ferguson.
they might have saw some weaknesses. You know, I'm not sure, but
Gain of 4, 2nd down.
here in the 2nd half, they've
49-yard
cut their
line.
splits down, and even their running backs have cut their splits down a little bit closer to the line, so they might be trying to go up the middle.
Well, passing-wise, River just 2 completions the first half, a net of 1 yard. More success running the ball, so I think you're right, Matt. This is what they were going to try to do. Now, maybe his power here. Warrington, once again, short gain across the 50.
Gain of about 1.
But you know, not much variation in the Pilots' offensive running game, though.
Well, if River's going to come out in these tight splits, I'd like to see what Coach Sherman's going to do with his defense. When the offensive line cuts their splits down, the defensive line has to cut their splits down a little bit, too.
3rd down and about 5. Whitlash now checking in. As we said, we have not seen much of number 7, so you may keep an eye on him on this 3rd and 5 play. Dropping to throw. Down the middle of the field, overthrown. But once again, Matt, a River receiver is behind the Seminole secondary.
At least 3 or 4 steps behind them. I'm not sure. I really wasn't looking to see what defense that the Seminoles were in, but their safety should have been back there deep.
Yeah, and Coach Flannery, as see on the sideline here, really not very happy as he walks to the far end of the bench area. And I think it's with his quarterback missing a receiver that definitely had people beat. It was number 21, Smith. Sean Maynard will kick. Line drive kick. It'll bounce. Ishii will get away from it and now decide to let it roll, and a good decision, I think.
Inside the 20-yard line, the 17-yard line.
That's a good job by Josh to stay away from it. I know you always want to pick that ball up and maybe try to make something out of nothing, but I think he did the right choice there by not picking that up.
8:12 left in the 3rd period. Seminoles now need to turn that defensive stop into, if not some points, at least move the ball down the field, chew up some time, and turn this field position around. You definitely don't want to give it away on a turnover or a punt down in here.
Well, like you said, even if they don't score, if they move the ball down the field a little bit and get out of this hole here.
Ball at the 17-yard line. Joris in motion, movement.
Flag on the play.
I'm not sure who that was on, Jeff. I kind of saw a couple, 2 or 3 people move there.
I think it's legal procedure, and it is against Monroe Central.
Well, that doesn't help the situation out at all.
Going to put the ball back at the 12, and I have Monroe Central now with 6 penalties that have been accepted, and that's way too many.
That's not going to be fun come Monday when they're watching the films. I guarantee the kids they're not going to like to hear what Jay has to say about the penalties.
Fumble the snap. Ishii will now pick the ball up. He'll be swarmed under, now back inside the 10. It's going to be a loss. Maybe the first time we have seen a poor exchange today, and that's been a problem the last couple of weeks.
Second down, 18. Ball at the 9-yard line.
Put the ball at the 9.
I'll tell you what, this is a real big hole to get out of, Jeff. Let's see, kind of interested to see what Monroe Central has called here.
2nd and 18. Ball now at the 9. Ishii on a quarterback sneak.
On the quarterback sneak.
He'll get the yards back from the loss, be to the 12.
About 3 on the play. Bring up
3rd and about 10.
And about 14. Ball at the...
I forgot about the 5-yard penalty, so it's about 3rd and 15. Ball at the 12. Need to get out past the 25 to about the 27. So 3rd and 15. Take a chance of throwing it here, Matt?
Oh, I don't know. They're in a wishbone formation. There's movement. I think that might have been on Monroe Central again.
And that's going to back it up again. Another 5. Just a lack of concentration and mental discipline by the Seminoles here tonight. Now, I don't want to take anything away from River doing a nice job defensively, but you just don't have the fire there that you've seen the last 2 weeks.
3rd down and 18.
And this is the one, if you can keep River off the scoreboard, you're probably going to be pleased to get out of here with a win. A lot of football to play. 14-0 Monroe Central. Ishii with the fake, trying to get outside.
Brought down on a play by Bradley Stalder.
He's out near the 15.
Well, he gave the punter just maybe a few extra yards to work with here.
The 13-yard line.
They put the ball at the 13.
4th down and 13.
About a 5-yard pickup, we'll call it, by Ishii. But now David Spielman, who has done okay the last 2 weeks, this may be the first time he's really been tested with his back against the wall. Not a real deep drop by Spielman. He gets the ball out. It's short. Warrington will...
He's hit.
Warrington.
Right away by Sam Miller.
Tackled by number 50, Chris Gifford.
But the field position exchange of punts there really advantaged the River. This is their best starting point of the night as they're in Monroe Central territory at the 41-yard line. Again, the Seminole defense going to be tested.
Well, this is like you said, it's going to be a good test. Let's see what River does as far as their splits. We're going to keep the tight splits, which it looks like they are. Basically foot to foot.
Lineman number 66, Brock Lee, lined up as that power blocking back. Warrington breaks out. Ronnie Warrington showing some nice running moves. He's down to the 33-yard line. He's going to have about 8 yards, 2nd down and 2.
Down long 2. Ball at the 33-yard line.
Definitely concern, I think, Matt, on the Monroe Central side. Coach Sherman and all the coaches, with River, gaining a little confidence here in this 3rd quarter.
Warrington, the ball carrier, picks up a Pilot first down. Ball at the 26-yard line, 1st down Pilot.
Warrington picks up another 7 yards and a first down.
Merrick on the tackle for the Seminoles.
I tell you, Rivers they got some momentum going for them here.
Ball to 26.
It seems like Monroe Central's defense is not, they're kind of dead out there right now.
First and 10. Fake to Warrington. Boner will try to keep outside. He'll be pulled down from behind by Demmerling.
Play by number 44, Gordon, assisted by number 86.
They say Gordon, and Gabe wasn't on the play, but Robbie Demmerling did a nice job from the backside.
9-yard line.
Yeah, Robbie coming through across the field to make the tackle. Like I said, it's good pursuit.
Good play call. To fake to Warrington after he's gained some yardage and then try to keep the outside. Again, another alignment as a blocking back, number 57 now, and number 66 at fullback, as they put 2 linemen in the backfield with Warrington. And this is Warrington to the left. A little counter. He's down to the 20.
About the 20-yard line. Tackled by Gordon.
Another 5 yards.
It's going to be about third down and about 5.
Assisted by Miller.
Ronnie Warrington now has picked up about 35 yards here in the third quarter.
Ball at the 20-yard line.
3rd and 4. You'd like to force a 4th and long if you could here. Ball at the 20. Pilots, again, late substitution.
You got 2 linemen in the backfield again blocking.
Warrington will try the right side. Sean 80, along with Demmerling.
Down to about the
Pickup of only a yard or 2.
Brings up 4th down.
80 on the tackle for the Seminoles. 4th down, Pilots.
Looks like Rivers going to be going for it.
3.
They'll now take one of the linemen out and bring number 21, which is one of their receivers, Smith.
Might be looking for maybe a little swing pass here or hitting a back out of the backfield maybe.
Keep an eye on the big tight end, Kish, number 15.
Warrington, the ball carrier.
Warrington,
About the
15-yard line. It looks like he has that first down.
Close to a first down.
It's going to be awful close, Jeff.
They say first down. Nice job by Rivers' offensive line, and there's nothing else you can say, Matt. They've come out on 2 possessions here in the third quarter and has moved the ball. Well, we may have spoken too soon here. Rivers' players were signaling first down. The officials did not say so. So it would be 4th. Well, that was 4th down, so it's going to be first down Monroe Central or first down River. The officials want to be sure they've got it right. And he's short, I believe. It's short. Monroe Central has held first down Monroe Central. Who says football's not a game of inches, Matt?
That was, I think, Monroe Central's defense on the last couple of plays stepped up and did a pretty good job. Against a big line, with River, like we said before. But like you said, football is a game of inches, and it just came out in our favor this time.
But we'll take those inches.
Sure we will. We'll take those inches any day.
Monroe Central now will have the ball once again. Terrible field position. Their own 16-yard line, but at least Monroe Central in possession of the football. Some shifting by Rivers' defensive front. Ishii try to sneak into what was an open area. Almost squirted out.
Assisted by Dusty Miller.
He got a good 4 or 5 yards out of that.
Second down, 6.
Well, he didn't get a real good spot, Matt. They're going to put him back at the 19-yard line.
They gave him a little bit more room to work with, though, Jeff.
2nd down and 7. Looked like Josh nearly spun off the play to the outside. I think the one official maybe had already marked it down before he slid off the pile. But 2nd and 7. Ball just short of the 20. Fake to Gordon and give to Brown. He'll get about 3 yards, maybe 4. Ball to about the 23-yard line.
It's going to be about 3 yards shy.
Third down.
3rd down and 3.
Ball at the 24-yard line.
Only 1 minute 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
This third quarter went by awful quick.
A lot of running, not much passing here by both teams in this quarter. And really, River has owned the quarter, but has not been able to get to the scoreboard. We're going to whistle prior to the snap. Official timeout. And I think maybe a chin strap problem. And the officials will allow that to be corrected. And now put the ball back ready for play. Less than a minute and a half in the third. Third down and 3. Gordon bounces outside. First down across the 30.
First down for the Seminoles.
Taking near the 32.
It's a good hard run by Gabe.
Tackled by Wesley
The big thing was to get the first down, and like I said before, he lowered his head and lowered his shoulders and got a couple extra yards there.
Ball at the 20 or 32-yard line.
But very big, I think, as you said, Matt. That's some key yardage now to get out of the shadows of the goal line. And if you could pick up a couple more first downs and put River on the other end of the field at the very worst.
Well,
a nice drive and points would be even better.
Exactly. Right now we've got a little bit more room to work with now. We don't have the goal line to our back.
Power eye with Habig at the blocking back position. Bouncing to the outside is Aaron Brown, 42-yard line.
He's close to another first down.
Carrier assisted by Brock Lee. Ball at the 41-yard line.
I think you're going to mark him just short. Of course, we made that last call wrong, or at least I made it wrong.
About a yard shy.
They are going to bring the chain over to measure, but I think you're right, Matt. It's about looks like a part of a yard short. 23 seconds remaining in the third quarter as they'll bring the chains across. Chuck Blue. We always talk to Chuck Blue. He always says he's going to shorten that chain by a length when River has the ball and then widen it by a length when Monroe Central has it. So we'll check him out here.
Well, it's hard to tell by Chuck. He's been doing this for a long time. I'm sure he knows all the ins and outs.
About 6 inches short. Be second down, less than 1.
Let's give Aaron Brown 9.5 yards on that carry. 23 seconds left. Monroe Central would not have to run a play here if they did not want to, but by the time the chains get set, I would say they will attempt a play on second down and less than 1. This is where you could see fake the Gordon on the power and go for all the marbles, knowing you could get it on third down.
Well, it's true. It all depends if you want to play conservative or just go all out.
Some success going deep tonight. Robinson with catches of 33 yards and 34 yards. Sam Miller with a catch of 27 yards and a touchdown.
Looks like they're going to let the clock run out, Jeff.
And time is important. That probably is the best move. So the third quarter is in the books. Score, Monroe Central 14, River nothing. Fourth quarter coming up.
The end of the third quarter for River 0, Monroe Central 14.
Hi, I'm Bill Respect. You heard me talk many times about how we offer you the best variety at the best possible price every day. And we do it with no cards, no gimmicks, no hassle. Just like you, we're working to get the most we can for the money we spend. So if these things are important to you, come home to Respect. We'll even add customer service as we continue what Grandma started over 70 years ago.
The Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Second and 1.
Second down, less than a yard
41-yard line.
as we start period number 4. Ball resting at the Monroe Central 42-yard line. As we talked there during the break, what do? Do you power it inside with Gordon, try to get your first down here, or do you fake it and go deep? Powered inside.
Nice second effort.
Hands off to Gordon.
Gordon, I believe, and I think you're exactly right there, Matt. Second effort.
Close to a first down.
A yard on the play, but you only needed a part of a yard. So there's your first down. Well, did we speak too soon, Matt? Are they going to? Now they say first down.
Right there, I think,
Third quarter score, Shenandoah 42, Magnolia 0.
I think Jay's just going to try to march it down the field, kind of run some time off the clock, and try to get another score.
Well, one thing I think you have to remember here is you are ahead by 2 touchdowns. So that time becomes your friend, and you want to run as much of that off as possible.
Exactly.
A nice effort by the second back. I believe that's Brown. He's going to be out near midfield, just across midfield. Pickup of about 8 yards by Aaron Brown. Tough going by Brown. I have him only for 34 yards at this point in time. But 8 tough yards right there and 8 big yards. Just across the 50, 2nd and 2. Wishbone look once again. The ball is on the ground, and River has recovered. Number 66 is Brock Lee. As Gordon fumbles the ball.
I tell you, that was a bad exchange between the quarterback and the fullback. I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think Gabe really ever had the ball, and he basically just touched the ball and then he's hit. And
sometimes it looks bad on the running back, but it's sometimes just the exchange is bad. Bottom line is first turnover of the night, and River recovers the fumble. They're at their own 45-yard line. 10:54 left. Boner wants to throw. Across the middle. Whitlash had a hand on it. Aaron Brown, I believe, had a hand in there and knocked that ball away.
Well, I tell you, that ball probably should have been caught. The quarterback did a pretty good job of threading the needle and hit him in the hands, and probably should have caught it. But then again, that was a good defensive effort from their Central secondary.
Well, Ryan Whitlash on the field in offense now in the 4th quarter. I'm sure Coach Flannery and the Pilots feel this game is still winnable, and it is. So bad shoulder or all, Whitlash is going to be on the field a little bit more. He checks out on this 2nd and 10 play.
They got number 66 back in there for blocking back.
They'll give to Warrington. Warrington near midfield, give him 3 or 4 yards.
Ball at the 49-yard line.
3rd down and about 6.
McConnell for the Seminoles.
Eddie McConnell told me today at school, he says, make sure you talk about that 280-pound nose guard. So Eddie McConnell on that tackle. McConnell checks out. Ryan Ferguson in as the extra defender at a linebacker spot. They'll give to Warrington, trying to bounce outside. I'll tell you.
Goes to first down, I'll tell you.
That's some kind of effort by this running back, Warrington. Very near the first down. I'll tell you, it's pretty much straight in front of us, Matt. It looks to me like he has the first down, and he does. And I have Ronnie Warrington now at 79 yards rushing, and he has run really hard behind his big offensive line here, especially in the second half. He has over 50 yards in the second half. Whitlash is split wide left. Boner straight back, wants to throw. Down the middle. Intended for Miller. Robinson defending.
Second down 10.
It looked like Boner just threw that one in the middle of the field, hoping that he had a receiver there.
Well, he had some pretty good pressure on him, too, from around the end over here by Robert Dimmerling.
And really, I believe Monroe Central has 2 sacks in this game, but really not a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They've 3 of 10 passing by River in the game. And 9:49 left, even though the running game has been effective, River may have to disband that and go to the air a lot more. McGuire in motion. Pressure by Gordon, screen pass, incomplete.
Okay, that's real good defensive call there by Coach Sherman. He probably figured they'd be going, dropping back for another pass or, trying a trick play and sending Gordon up the middle like that, putting some pressure on the quarterback. And of course, you saw the results. That was a good defensive effort there by Monroe Central.
3rd and long, Ferguson is back on the field. Outside linebacker on the near side.
I think Monroe Central realized that River's going to have to start, trying to do something here to put some points on the board.
Here they come again. They was trying to go to the reverse. It looked like the Whitlash. The only problem was Gabe Gordon was between Whitlash and Boner. Probably a smart move by the quarterback, Boner, not handing it off because Gordon was in good position. He's going to lose a couple of yards. And once again, River will be forced to kick the ball away. But again, Coach Sherman coming with Gordon on a blitz.
Sean Maynard to punt for the Pilots.
River
Casey
punting
and Brown
again.
back deep.
Once again for the Seminoles.
I think it's time for a good return, Matt.
We're due.
Well, it won't be here as the ball's heading out of bounds.
Ball is kicked out of bounds. Down to the
Not a very good kick, but this official needs to walk forward several steps.
about the 21-yard line.
Well, he's going to put it at the 21.
Seminoles.
I'm not
Apparently his idea is several and our idea
Yeah.
is several. It's 2 different things.
Again, this is a good viewpoint, but maybe not real good for that one. The officials line that up and say out of bounds at the 22-yard line. They now place it. But again, Monroe Central has held River. The Pilots still not on the scoreboard. Monroe Central in possession of the ball. 9:02 remaining in the game. 14-0 Monroe Central. A nice long drive here to take a lot of that time off.
Well, a nice long drive here too would take a lot of wind out of River.
No fumbles would be a very big play here. Monroe Central losing possession on a fumble in their last play.
Dive play to Brown.
Hand off to Brown.
And that ball's down once again.
For the Pilots.
Picked up by River. And then the second Monroe Central turnover.
By number 70, Danny Kimmerling. First down Pilots.
Well, that's one thing that Monroe Central did not need here.
21-yard line.
Almost 9 minutes left to go in the game, giving River a chance to move the ball down the field and score.
Colby Starr on the recovery and the return down to the 22-yard line. 2 Monroe Central turnovers. And you just don't like the feel this one has, Matt.
No, I tell you, it's that's one thing that Monroe Central did not need was a fumble this deep in their territory.
They'll go back to the ground. Warrington,
The ball carrier
couple of yards.
down to about the 20-yard line. Picked up at 1. Second down, 9.
I don't want to make excuses, for the team here, Matt, because right now the Seminoles just getting outplayed in a lot of aspects of the game. But preparation this week was quite difficult. The Seminoles not able to get on the practice field Tuesday or Wednesday, so they had to kind of improvise on the outfield of the softball field. But still, it was practice, and I'm sure River has the same field conditions to prepare also. But the defense now being called on once again. This is Warrington, and a flag appears to be down.
15-yard line.
And we'll let the officials sort this out. Not many flags in the second half.
Kimmerling
Holding
and
Pilots.
Flag on the play. Preliminary signal is holding against the Pilots.
So this will back the Pilots up 10 yards from the point of the foul. The flag at the 19, so this should take it back to about the 29-yard line.
River. Second down. Ball at the 29-yard line.
So now what would have been a 3rd and short has turned into a 2nd and long. The Pilots now at the 34. They need to get down to about the 12. So about 17 yards on this second down play.
I look for River to be trying some kind of a pass play or maybe even some kind of trick like a reverse or something like here because they're going to have to try to put some points on the board here soon.
7:45 remaining in the game. Monroe Central holding on to a 2-touchdown lead. River now wants a timeout just prior to the snap. One of their blocking backs, Brock Lee, stood up and called timeout. That is Monroe Central's first time, or excuse me, River's first time out of the second half. Got coming at 7:42 remaining in the game.
Again, the Red Ford Rangers, EY51AU.
But a second and long situation gives the Seminole defense a lot of flexibility here. But I tell you, knowing Coach Flannery and his years at Payton City, and you're familiar with those also, Matt, we haven't seen a lot of trickery yet. And I guarantee you, River has some of those plays in the book. Early in the game, we saw Whitlash look like he was going to throw a reverse pass. He was in the running for the quarterback spot earlier in the year, so something like that could be a possibility.
Well, I'm sure that's what Coach Sherman's out there telling his defensive squad right now. Look out for some kind of a trick play or basically anything out of the ordinary. I'm not sure if he's going to. He might be probably trying to play kind of maybe a 40 loose defense, in case of that. But our defensive ends are going to have to, on these next couple of plays, going to have to learn to stay at home in case of a reverse or a bootleg or, some kind of a counter play.
Along with Coach Sherman during that timeout, saw Coach Acosta there, and along with Coach Singleton. And of course, Coach Singleton working with that defensive line, and a lot of pressure on those young men right now to stop the River running game and get pressure on that quarterback.
See, River's offense, they're more spread out now. Their splits aren't as tight.
Boner in a shotgun. It would appear to be a passing formation. Boner wants to throw under pressure from Demmerling. Maybe 80. One of them appeared to have a hand on the ball. River just 3 of 12 throwing the ball, and I'm not sure which receiver he was going to, but third down and about 18. Whitlash was in and was wide. Now we see McGuire and Smith come in as Whitlash and Lee will come out.
River back in an I formation.
Pro set receivers left, and we now get motion. Boner wants to throw. Pressure. Throws it up for grabs. This is going to be intercepted. Ishii, get up the sideline. A lot of running room. 30. 40. 50.
Nice return.
Great
nice
play.
Return. I don't see any flags, Jeff, so I think we're in good shape.
Great return by Josh Ishii. Picked up a block right here in front of the River bench, which helped him. And not only does that get possession of the ball to Monroe Central, that turns the field position in the Seminole favor. And with 7:22 left, that is a big play.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the key things on that play, Jeff, was they had a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. Of course, when you have pressure on the quarterback, you either overthrow it or underthrow it. And he underthrew it, and Josh took advantage of it.
Well, Brown and Ishii both there, and you could, started to yell there. You probably thought for a minute Andy Shoemaker was up here.
Oh, no, no. Andy probably would have knocked me off the scaffolding. Play like that.
But that is a big play. We talked about the Sam Miller catch being a play of the week for Lance Follett. That Ishii interception has to be in the running also for Lance. Gordon on the fullback toss. Outside, lots of running room. Still on his feet. He's inside the 20 near the 15.
Yeah, like I was saying before, Jeff, Gabe's he's a big kid, but once he turns that in, I mean, he's a lot quicker than what people realize, and you saw right there, he turned in the afterburners and picked up a lot of extra yardage.
2 big carries by Gordon in this game. I now have Gabe unofficially for 93 yards rushing in this game. The ball at the 15, first down. Well, it's important to turn that turnover into points. Dive play once again to Aaron Brown.
Tackled by Wesley Haslam.
The linebacker Lee, along with Haslam, and Wesley Haslam at 290 pounds. Sean Oakey in there at about 245.
Well, I tell you, from up here it doesn't look like the river, as far as their size, it doesn't look like they're that big, but I'm sure once you get down there on the field, I'm sure they probably look bigger than what it says in the program.
2nd down and 8. Aaron Brown, touchdown, Aaron Brown.
12-yard touchdown run.
I tell you what, does a nice hole by the offensive line that time here on the right side. They just open up a hole, you can almost drive a truck through it.
That's a big score, as I say. Convert that turnover into points. Aaron Brown's 13-yard run. That makes it 20-0. Curtis Merrick, 2 of 2 on placements. This one is through. Excellent. Perfect. Curtis Merrick, 3 for 3. 6 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in the game. Monroe Central now has a little bit more breathing room as they lead 21-0. And as Aaron Brown went into the end zone, you could almost see the river people down below us. Many of them starting to get up and fold the blankets and head for the parking lot.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about, then you look across the field at the Monroe Central stands, and I don't see any of them leaving yet.
And another very nice following on the road by the Seminoles once again, as always. Next week, remember, on the road again, as we'll travel Route 78 the opposite way and head for Caldwell in the Noble County Fairgrounds to take on the Caldwell Redskins. Caldwell 0-2 the first 2 weeks, playing Barnesville on this Friday night, so I would say there's probably a pretty good chance that the Caldwell Redskins will be 0-3, and maybe a lesson to be learned from this game by the Seminoles is you don't take anyone lightly, and execution is important, and Caldwell can be dangerous also. They have a lot of returning players, and going to their place is always tough.
Like Coach had always said, you can never judge a team just by the record. You got to judge them by who they played, and Caldwell has a rough schedule too. They play basically most of the same teams we play, and playing Barnesville tonight, that's a rough game for them. So
a short kick where the lineman Lee will bobble it, now try to fall on it, and I think he will get on it about his own 26 or 27 yard line. And he was knocked back as he picked up the ball, and Lee is a little slow to get up.
Buck Lee is the injured player. Ball will be at the 25-yard line. 26-yard line. First down, Pilot.
Brock Lee to the sideline under his own power.
That's always good when you see him get up after an injury, Jeff, and run off the field like that.
That's a little tough, though, picking that ball up with the gloves and the pads on the hands. And Lee is a very good linebacker for the Pilots and is lined up in the backfield at a blocking fullback position and has led Ronnie Warrington in there many times as Warrington has gained big yardage. Now at 21-0, the Pilots probably going to have to go to the air on every play as they run the ball.
Warrington, the ball carrier.
And here's Warrington with more yardage across the 40.
Out to the 41-yard line.
He's going to get about 15 yards.
Joris on the tackle for the Seminoles.
Sean Joris making the play, and if Joris did not make that tackle, Warrington may have been off to the races. Over 90 yards now by Ronnie Warrington in this game. We see some substitutions in now. Habig is in place of 80. I also see Tyler Graham in defensively instead of Aaron Brown. Flags fly. Illegal substitution on the Pilots. I believe they broke the huddle with 12.
Penalty of 5 yards. Puts the ball at the 36-yard line, first and 15.
5-yard step off now is 1st and 15 for the Pilots. After that illegal substitution penalty. Warrington is the lone setback with 4 wide receivers. Warrington will get the ball and be stopped by the middle of that line. McConnell along with Gordon.
No gain in the play.
I tell you what, Eddie McConnell did a good job that time. Basically standing his man up, driving him back, and looking for the ball.
Sam Miller also, no gain.
15.
Clock running now, less than 5:20 left in the game. Again, 4 receivers, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Boner wants to throw. Quick one, gives it to Kish. There's one of those trick plays. Hook and ladder play to Warrington. But really
Out of bounds by Joris and Gordon.
only about 8 yards.
Ball will be placed at the 44-yard line.
Well, yeah, I tell you what,
The third down
you
and
saw him
7.
after he got that pitch and he runs the ball. You saw he knew he was going to get hit. Covered up with both hands and I think I almost saw a grimace on his face from up here.
And that's one of those trick plays that we knew was in the River playbook that we had not seen yet tonight. You may look for more of that here in this final 5 minutes. 3rd and 7. Boner under pressure now is going to try to run and go nowhere. He may get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
Quarterback draw. No gain in the play.
And a
It's a 4th down.
pressure quarterback draw or just the pressure?
Ball at the 44.
The announcer said quarterback draw, but I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know. He did run with it awful quick, but he still had a lot of pressure on him. I think he saw the pressure come up the middle, and I think he decided just to tuck it and run.
Again, Seminoles doing some substituting in a 4th down and
Pilots will go for
7
it on 4th
situation.
down.
They're at their own 44-yard line.
They got trips right, split left. Motion.
Boner wants to throw, hit as he throws.
I tell you what,
Kish had a hand on it.
that's a good catch. It was a good throw.
Kish. The Seminoles take over on down.
That was that kiss you were talking about earlier, Jeff.
1-yard line
Well,
in the Pilots.
you know, and the Pilot fans cheering here, they couldn't see that ball come out, as neither could we initially. But you know, and now we're going to get a JV group coming in. Coach DaCosta, figures at 21-0, 4:17 left. And we let some younger kids play, and they deserve that opportunity.
Sure they did. They practiced just as hard as the starters, and there's a good bunch of JV kids out here too.
We're not going to be able to get everybody for you there. Justin Hogue will quarterback.
He gets the Dudek.
Dudek will get the carry. He'll bounce outside and get some positive yardage.
Derek Dudek. Tackle on the play by Ryan Whitlash.
Put Derek Dudek across the 40 at about the 39-yard line. 5, closer to 38. Let's call that 6 yards.
5, ball to 38.
2nd and 4.
Dexter Hughes coming in at quarterback.
In this situation, I've talked many times in the past, you have about probably 30 kids over there you want to get on the field with only 4 minutes to do it.
It's hard to do, but somehow Jay finds a way to do it every time that he can.
Tyler Graham's going to go forward and get a couple of yards.
Tackled by Luke Myers.
I'd say he'll probably be running plays in and out with
Assisted by Nate Eggleston.
Hughes and Hogue.
As we see Justin Hogue back in this time, as the Seminoles, when they do this on Friday nights with their JV group, will continue to alternate quarterbacks. I believe in the JV games, I was told that they alternated by series, not every play.
Yes, exactly. That's what we did last year too.
Dudek once again, he's going to slam in there and get to the 30-yard line.
For the Seminoles, that's Derek.
7-yard pickup by Dudek and a 1st down.
30-yard line.
Nice hard run there. Not bad by the offensive line either.
Tackle by Maynard.
And the Pilots still have several first liners out there. They have now, well, it looks like now they've substituted several kids now, but the first couple plays was against the first unit, but they have changed several people. So a little preview of the Monday night JV game out at the park, home game for the Seminoles. You might want to slip out and see that game, scheduled to start at 6 o'clock Monday night. Hughes now will give to Buck Wiley. He'll fumble the ball, but Wiley will get the ball back as he gets now to the 29-yard line.
Buck Wiley.
I'll tell you what, even seems like the JVs out there, they're even having a hard time holding on to the ball. Maybe with this dew and everything, it's getting a little bit slicker here in the second half than what it was first half.
Justin Ho backing the quarterback for the Seminoles.
Seminole JV team shutouts in their first 2 games this year. So good job by the offense and defense by the younger kids. Tyler Graham.
Hand off to Tyler Graham.
29-yard line was the line of scrimmage. Tyler Graham gets down near the 21.
You mentioned earlier, Jeff, about the JVs, playing on Monday nights, and it's kind of hard for these JV kids to, they practice all week the varsity, then the Friday night game, and then they Monday night game, then they got to come back ready on Tuesday in order to get the varsity ready again for the coming up game. So it's really important you guys get out there and support these JV kids because they are the future Seminoles.
Hughes back at quarterback. He'll give to Jake Yamagata on the carry. He's going to lose a couple yards.
That brings up fourth down.
Might also mention, Matt, before we get out of here, that on Saturday, the Seminole team traveling to Ohio State to watch the Buckeyes play. Game, I believe, televised, by one of the stations. Might look for them. You probably can pick them out up in that upper deck. They'll be wearing the red jerseys.
As when I was in school, it was always a treat for us to go up to watch that Ohio State game, and I'm sure it is for these kids now.
Dudek's the ball carrier.
Dudek's going to get down near the 16-yard line.
I'll tell you, Dudek's running the ball hard tonight. He's doing a heck of a job in there.
That's another first down.
First down Seminoles, ball at the 15-yard line.
So the Seminoles would not have to run a play, and I believe they will choose not to do that. They'll stay in the huddle. It wasn't easy and it wasn't pretty, but we didn't want to mention this earlier, Matt, but Monroe Central has just shut out the River Pilots for the 5th consecutive year.
Well, I'd say that's to be honest with you, that's an amazing feat. For them to shut out Buckeye Trail. We held Shadyside to 3 points, and then shutting out River again. Like you said, for 5 consecutive years, when it's a county rivalry like this, anything goes. And like you said, it wasn't pretty, but we still come out with a victory. And there were some good points and some bad points on this game. I think some of the bad points might be maybe a little bit of the defensive line, but some of the good points, defensive secondary and offensive line.
Well, and I think one thing we need to remember that before we go here also, Matt, is that sometimes as fans, and you and I fall into that category also, sometimes we don't give the other team enough credit. Just give Rivers some credit for doing some things well, especially defensively. And, it seems like we're not satisfied unless we're beating somebody by 30 points. A 21-0 win is a good win.
It's an excellent win.
3-0, and get ready for the PVC opener next week down at Caldwell.
Well, like you said before, River did do a lot of positive things here in the first and second half with their offensive line. I think that they keyed on some of maybe the Monroe Central weaknesses, but then Monroe Central came out second half and maybe not have put 35 or 40 points on the board, but 21-0 victory over a county rivalry is a pretty good thing.
Well, we'll let that be the final word of the night. So for Joe Eddy, Dale Eddy, Matt Singleton, this is Jeff Stevens. Join us next week from Caldwell. The final score tonight from River High School. Seminoles 21, Pilots nothing. We'll see you next week.